By now, you guys have heard me mention check Dollar Tree first for first aid items, probably about a million times. And I just wanted to share some things that you can also get there for your first aid kits and other things that you may not think to grab. So I've got a couple things here that I would like to share. All right, so we're just gonna work our way down the row here. Also ignore my nails, which this is like very fitting. It's garden season. So, some metal nail files. These are great for so many things, more than just your nails, but also hangnails can be atrocious. And if you were to, let's say you stub a toe, you break your toenail, and then that's sharp and that's creating more problems, having these on hand for first aid actually can be a saver. It can also, like if you had to, let's say you were out hiking and you have to fashion a splint or something like that, you could take like small branches and stuff off of a bigger stick, just like random stuff you may not think of. And for only $1, you can get 4, which means you can throw in all your kits. These guys are a little bit more intense, I guess. These actually are in like the automotive section with their tools. And they aren't the best. I'm not gonna lie to you. They aren't perfect by any means, but you know what? You got a splinter, you got something like that, they're gonna get the job done. And they've got good long handles, so you can really get a good grip on them. And yeah, again, $1. You get all those cool things. Another thing in that section, I'm not sure if it's seasonal or not, but Paracord. I have seen Paracord at Dollar Tree. I've got a couple different ones. And they're great just as is, just thrown into your kits, but you can also, you could, I just forgot the word, you know, when you make like bracelets and stuff, like you can weave them into other designs and then they become more practical to carry with you. The only thing I would mention along with that, if you see these and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so fun, I'm going to make a bunch of bracelets, just remember, if you're cutting it down to make your bracelets, it's only as good as that piece. So if you cut it down and then weave it together, but it's just a bunch of 18-inch strands, that's all you've got versus an actual 25-foot piece. So just something to keep in mind, but there are tons of really cute patterns and stuff like that that you can like do with that. But also just perfectly great by itself. These, another thing that's in the tool section, Ronnie already pulled one of these out. He saw me bring these home and he was like, ooh. So these are just little bitty razor blades, utility knives, whatever. And then you can kind of see they're perforated to snap off. So once you, like, you don't want to push it all the way out or you'll just break the blade off, but you push it a little bit and you use that piece. Once it's dull, then you snap it off and you've got a fresh one. So these are great for like hiking kits, all kinds of stuff like that. Safety pins. Yeah. This I actually found, it was like right at the checkout. I had never seen these like full kits like this before with different sizes and all kinds of stuff. Safety pins have a very unique place in first aid. So you can, obviously you can use them to, like, we've got ace bandages in our farm kit to hold those together. If you had to like cut clothes to get to an injury, you could safety pin them back together. And also in, I'm trying to tiptoe around this, but in completely dire circumstances, you can replace stitches with these. Obviously not recommended. Please be careful. But in a life or death situation, it could save your life. So, worth having. And they're also just great for other things. You can, you know, affix things together with them. You could use the needle to get splinters out, all kinds of stuff like that. So, multi-purpose, just, you know, be mindful. And then shoelaces. Yeah. Have you ever thought of adding shoelaces to your first aid kit? Probably not, but they're great. They're so versatile. You could use them to make a tourniquet. Again, dire circumstances. These are all, I've mentioned it a million times before, but I am not a professional. These are just my opinions and experiences. Just ideas here, folks. Don't hold me liable for any of this. But if you were in a situation where a tourniquet was necessary, these are super easy to use in that situation. You could also use them if you needed to like tie up belongings, or like, honestly, let's be real, if you're hiking and your shoestring breaks, you could pull one out of your first aid kit and it would get you down to the, you know, back to the car. So just some really good options to have there. And I really like that this kit, not only do you get 3 of each size, did you notice that there? So these are 54 inches and these are 45 inches. And there's also different colors, all kinds of great stuff. So highly, highly recommend checking into this stuff that you may not think about. And then just a friendly reminder about these couple things that you probably are thinking about, but hadn't really looked at Dollar Tree. Now, these, since I've purchased these, one of my siblings is a smoker and she was like, these are bad. Don't buy those. Because she saw them and she was like, what are those for? And I was like, my first aid kit. And she was like, that's not what you want to depend on. So these may not be worth it. These we will probably just leave at the house for candles. But this one is much more reliable. Obviously, matches. Very reliable. Just don't get them wet. So we're going to have another, like a companion video to this of the things that you should splurge on. We're also going to have matches in there as well. And just another little thing here. They don't always have these, but I highly, highly recommend this. This is also, it's perfect in this little container, and you have lots of different options for getting, you know, wounds clean and things of that nature. So keep an eye out. And these are easily, I love stuff like this because you can easily refill it. Like if you have this in your first aid kit, it's great because you don't have to, let's think about this for just a second here. Ignore the rest of this, but let's say you just wanted to add something like this to your first aid kit. Even if you were building this at the Dollar Tree, big truck, so $1 per component, right? You're looking at $4 because you have to buy the container, cotton balls, Q-tips, and then these little cotton pads. So you're looking at $4, but this is $1 and you get a little bit of each. And you can probably refill these from things that you've already got at your house if you were to use them. And if not, you know where you can buy refills. So highly, highly recommend this little guy, especially for kits. It's also great for travel. If you guys have a travel kit, which is another thing I would recommend, maybe we'll do that way down the road, but we do have a small kit of stuff that we just take with us when we travel so that we never get somewhere and we're like, oh my gosh, I need to clean my ears and don't have a Q-tip. So highly recommend these. They're great. And then you do have the container, which in an emergency could be repurposed for all kinds of things. So highly recommend that. Don't forget the Dollar Tree when you're building your kits. And if you want to see that companion video that I mentioned, you know what to do. Go ahead and subscribe, and we will see you next time.